then neither one of us have painting projects on our plate. So this is Watercolor Wednesday without the watercolor. So there you go. That's all right. So I'm going to start my monitor, and we're going to see what kind of trouble I'm causing here. So here's the trouble that I'm causing.
I do want to clarify with you guys that what I am working on will eventually go into
watercolor.
You're
prepping.
I can't do anything with watercolor with it.
And though I'm making snarky comments, the truth is that mine too will also be a watercolor project at some point here, because all my maps I'm going to do in watercolor. Dang it. So I am using Adobe Illustrator, which I am really, really, really bad at.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, what do you need help with? Because I'm actually pretty good with it.
Oh, I just need to.
When I work,
it doesn't do the things that I want it to do, and I don't get it. Like, here's a great example. I need a black square.
Okay, go to the colors.
I click it. I go to the colors. I make it black, and it goes to layer 1.
Okay, well, you go to the colors. You go to the colors, which are at the bottom. Let me see if I can see this. Enlarge your screen, please.
Enlarge my screen. That's not the button that enlarges my screen. That, in fact, makes it hard for me to do this, which is what I really need to do. Nope. I need that. Yeah. Now you're over me again.
That's fine.
Never get over me.
Okay. Well, first of all, you're changing the border color. If you click the back one, there you go. That's the one to make a black square. Okay, why you canceled? You didn't hit OK.
It's because I was on layer 1. Layer 1 is these guys. I don't want these guys to be black.
Okay, then go to layer 2. Select layer 2.
Is that a rectangle that's in this layer? Yeah, it is. That's part of the problem there.
Okay,
layer 2.
Layer 2. Okay.
And make a rectangle and put it on the layer. Now it's on layer 2. Now take this
go in, yeah.
And go like that and say that. Okay.
Your Illustrator is broken, sir.
See, that's my problem.
Can you? Oh wait, no, you got it to be white. Okay, there you go.
There we go. Wow, that only took a lot of effort.
I'm like, what in the world are you doing? Because like that's not
normal.
That's not normal.
It was this button here which says none and gradient and color, and I'm like, meh. Okay, I hate you. Okay, we got it. We got it under control. You can go back to what you're doing.
Yeah, like the thing is mine one, like if I hit I want a color, it just automatically converts back to like, oh, you want a color in it? Okay, here you go. I give you color.
Now all I'm doing is I'm just placing half of this off of the paper, or at least most of half of this off the paper. And then I'll export this, and it won't be a problem. But this is what I need here, is this grid. So they're marked. There's 50 marks out to the outer edge, and there's 360 internal marks. Mm-hmm. And so that means that I can export this, but there is something with a, you know what, I really don't care. Export as. I'm never going to export as a PNG. I can export as a PNG. Probably shouldn't I? And then just delete this layer completely. It contains artwork. Oh, God. Yes, we know. If I don't have a layer on the bottom layer, we'll do like Photoshop and make it transparent.
Are you talking? No.
If I do PNG.
Illustrator, you have to have a page because Illustrator is exactly what it sounds like. It's for illustration.
Photoshop.
Like basically graphics. Well, okay, so let me back up for a second. So you don't have, like, if you imported what you have into Photoshop, whatever's on that rectangle that makes up the page is what will show in Photoshop. However, that means that you cannot actually get rid of the page in this.
That's fine. That's okay. It's not a problem. I'll just do it in reverse and then flip it in Photoshop. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Export as...
At least, I mean, I don't know if yours does something different because, I mean, let's be realistic. It's already doing something weird.
Part of it is I have a literal stock version of Illustrator because I absolutely despise this program. Not because of anything that it's ever done. I don't think this way. This is not the way I think. And so it's really hard for me to do, my drawings of a person where you do dot, 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 and then move the dots around until finally it makes a person. That's just not the way I think. So this is a really hard program for me to use because it's not intuitive. Everything's not intuitive for me. And so it's frustrating as a drawing program. It's frustrating. So I don't like it in that instance. But that has nothing to do in reality with whether this is a good or bad thing.
Right.
It's not like it's horrible and it's the worst program ever invented. It's just that I don't think this way, and I have never thought this way. And ever since Illustrator 1, I have tried to use it, and I get in there and I get tangled up, and then I get aggravated. And then I'm annoyed. And then it's like, why did I do this to myself? And, this is the nature of the things. So that's all right.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't use Illustrator as much anymore. So when I do, it like sometimes hurts my brain. So right there with you.
I find it extra fascinating that Illustrator opted to export the entire grid. We totally put the grid somewhere else.
Yep.
And it did it anyway. I offset the grid and it put it there anyway. That's fine. Totally cool. But it does make me go, well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Yep, that's pretty much any Adobe products at this point.
Yep. Where it does we're not going to do what you wanted us to do, if that's okay with you. Okay. It's where I constantly say, you do you, boo. You do you. Screen. All righty. Now, we have the ability all right. Okay, we're not doing this. This is not what we're doing. We're going to do this. And take this guy and we're going to save him. And then we are going to only capture the 4 quadrants that are down here. And that's all we're going to use for our new app. All right. You know what we don't have is some kind of music or something.
Well, we could have messages from Bill, but Bill is busy at the moment.
Yep. It's all right. We don't need messages from Bill. He can do his work like he's supposed to. We can put some music in. I don't want this to be bigger. I'm going to try something. Export as radial grid to PNG. Export. That will be 1200 dpi.
That is not what I wanted. There we go. We got music.
Yeah, we got music going. Okay. And I just added so we know that's 150, 150, so 50, 100, 150. So that's 100 across. I should be able to pull everything off now. 100 across, right? Theoretically. Bueller. Can at least do halves. Halfsies. Let's do halfsies. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to flatten this. And take and say open. I'm going to take this radial grid and open it. And it's going to be huge. And now I've made my computer mad. There we go. The radial grid, nice. It's pretty accurate down to there. So image resolution. It's 1300 across. Yay. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to duplicate this. Just work from here. that. Save you. Take. There's a lot of talking going on in my world.
Like heavy concentrating because I'm like
it's all good.
I'm drawing a vampire getting its prey to come closer to it. So.
Right? Radio. Alrighty.
I found out that the comic I'm working on right now is going to be printed in black and white. So it's going to be interesting to do the coloring process. I'm still debating on whether or not to do a different type of coloring instead of watercolor on this one or not.
Yep.
Because it is going to be black and white. And black and white watercolor, as much as it is fun, is a pain in the tuchus.
It really is, yeah.
Because one misstep and the black and white looks really bad.
I can see that. One accidental loading of the blue on your that pretty blue that you made for me, and that's it. You've messed it all up.
Well, normally what I do when it comes to, like, if I have black and white for a coloring scheme, like for a printing scheme color type deal, is I'll do testing of different pigments. And during those tests, like I'll test out, like, hey, how's this one look in black and white? Sort of deal. And then I usually go with the best one that looks right for the imagery, and it looks good in black and white.
Fair.
I've done a black and white comic in watercolor before, so that's not an issue. It's just there were times where I think I put a little bit too much down.
Right.
So.
All right. Oh, hey, it's almost accurate. Okay. I'm going to make it mad.
So since it is Watercolor Wednesday, I can show everyone this.
Yay! Oh, hey, I love that.
Yeah. So this is Gentleman Jeff Gentry. He is a cryptozoologist that hunts cryptids like the crocodile hunter, and he's British.
Fair.
He is not my own character. He is actually a character that's owned by someone else. And
fair.
I was asked to be part of an anthology that's involving him. So.
I like him.
Yeah. I do too. He loses a lot of crews.
What?
He has a crew on the one that I'm drawing. One of the crew members is named Guy.
Oh no! Does he die? Oh yeah. What's my last name?
Your last name? Davis. No. He's Guy is he's a camera operator, and
it's fair.
They,
I mean,
they are
you're gonna have a camera operator.
They are they basically do go into a vampire's den while filming.
While filming? Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah, so spoiler, only the host of the show survives.
Right.
You need to get that, Bill?
No, it said account services in Jupyter.
We don't have any accounts in Jupyter.
They can leave a message.
That you know of.
I'm pretty sure we settled all debts when it comes to Jupyter before we left Florida.
I like you getting ones that say I'm like they're gonna go on collections on me. I'm like, I don't owe any. I don't have anything in collections. And I owe very few people.
Yeah, I still can't believe that my baby one of my younger brother is 22 today.
Yeah. I'm having that problem. My niece, my little niece, who's like, 6 in my head. She's 6. She will always be 6. She's like texting me pictures of cars she sees on the road that makes her think of me. Like she saw this truck yesterday that was neon green. And she was like, "Oh, this is so you, Uncle Guy." And I was like, "Yay." And then I'm like, "Wait." And she's like, "Yeah, I was pulled over. It was fine." And I'm like, "You were driving?" It's like
I mean, I can't really say anything. I was taught how to drive by an aunt and an uncle. Actually,
but
2 different uncles.
6. You've missed the point.
I know. But at the same time, the thing is like my own mother couldn't get past the fact that I was, 15 when I was learning to drive.
Right.
She was still treating me like I was like 10. Like in her mind, I was still 10.
Yep.
I get it. So they are currently our apartment complex is painting the outside of our buildings.
Uh-huh.
So it's one of those moments where we're having to deal with plastic all over our windows, and
That's going to be a nightmare for Ian.
yeah.
I mean, because he paints a lot himself. That's going to be a freaking nightmare.
Well,
It's going to be a nightmare for you guys.
I guess the good part about it is like it's blocking out the sunlight in the morning, so I can actually sleep in.
Nice.
You know,
I'm looking at the bright side here.
yeah. I mean, I slept till 8 o'clock today. That's unusual. Because we cover up our window type deal situation so that people can't see into our bedroom, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's now fully covered with like a plastic thing, so it's like diffused any light possibly coming in. I mean, Bill made the joke the other day, like if we really wanted to, we could just walk around naked, no one would see us.
Yep. Unless you left your video on, then we'd be all like, "Oh God."
I mean, it depends on who you ask and what fetish they have.
That's also true. I was reminded of this a little while ago because I've got a friend who's got a. I didn't know this, but there's a thing called a bear fetish, which I didn't know about.
me and my husband are considered bears.
Right, exactly. So am I. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm actually in somebody's fetish. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of cool in its own way. I mean, I'm not gay, so it's kind of sad. But on the flip side, it is kind of cool, you know?
Well, technically, if I wanted to be really technical, you would be a besides the fact that you're an actual dad,
Right?
because of the white hair and everything, you'd be considered a daddy. So there's even a sub
Fetish.
of daddy bears. So like someone who's about half your age would be all of a sudden coming up to you because they're attracted to you based off of your hair and the fact that you're older.
Weird. I mean, cool, but weird. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, I am not 100% sure that Illustrator did its job.
What are
I
you
am
trying?
two grids short of 270 degrees. Which makes me wonder if I typed in 365 instead of 360, because there's 365 days in a year and I'm an idiot. As in, I think Illustrator did exactly what I told it to do.
And it's user error?
Yep, totally user error. Okay, concentric dividers. We need 50 of those. Radial dividers, 360, not 365. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I just did it wrong. I clearly have issues, that's all. I did discover that if you export it as a PNG, it asks you if you want the background to be transparent or not.
That is true, yes. But you were asking me about Photoshop files, so.
Yep. Also true. So I'm making a new one. Export as 360-degree grid instead of my 365-degree grid, which I clearly made. Because, oh boy. 1200 DPI. Background color transparent. Go.
By the way, Guy, in I think wherever I end up moving to, because I believe everyone knows that we're looking for a house. I'm hoping to have a designated office space.
Y'all.
Yeah, so messages from Bill would literally be Bill coming into the room and having to do
making messages. Yeah. I miss having messages from Bill, though, just being random things in the background.
Yeah. Like his Mr. Ed impressions?
Yeah. There we go. That's much more what we're looking for. And as with everything, now that I've gotten a little bit more confident with this, it's not as bad anymore. Okay.
Now I get to do the other life of an artist type deal when you're working for a client.
It's all right. I'll still be here.
Oh, nope. I'm just taking a photo.
Nope. You lied. Gotcha.
I'm not leaving. I'm just taking a photo.
Oh.
So, let's see. Yeah. So, I will be right here. So, here's Guy. Right here.
Yay!
And the other guy right here is Pal.
I see a trend here.
Yeah.
All right. I do, however, I have to say, I like the fact that my counterpart is more active than I am these days. He's like in this awesome active pose where, I'm like, I'm never there in that active of a pose unless, like, I'm like getting out of bed because the cat is throwing up. That's about the only time I'm ever in that active of a pose.
Well, I mean, there's worse things that you could have happen, I guess.
Right?
I mean, cat vomit is rather... Well, cats vomiting in general are not pleasant.
No. Not as fun as it seems like. Not as fun as it's advertised in the movies, man. Just saying. Yeah. All right.
Anything with music? No.
What?
Okay.
We have music going.
No. Oh God. I didn't realize I had 2 family members having birthdays today.
Happy birthday, family members.
Yeah.
Starting to look like spider webs. It's kind of cool.
They would only have to be curved just slightly.
Yeah, I know.
My hair is floofy.
Your hair is poofy. You do have lovely hair today. Your hair looks lovely.
Yes. Yes. Literally just decided to post on my brother's Facebook wall a monkey dancing for his birthday.
There you go. Sometimes the monkey just needs to dance. Dance, monkey, dance.
And sending the other family member a dancing cake.
Oops.
So, all right. So, essentially, I know this will be the first time I think I'm doing a comic where I'm going to heavily rely on inking. So
Really?
This will be fun, yeah. I have a lot of midday or later dusky type scenes in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have night scenes, and I also have ones which are supposed to be a single color. Especially when they get into the vampire's den, because it's supposed to be eerie, glowing, and taking all the color away from everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I have to rely heavily on inks.
Huh.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So Ghost Hand's talking about, I'm just saying, I go to bed about 30 minutes or so after my wife, generally speaking. My wife has a habit of not remembering to turn off lights and things like that in the house. So I intentionally kind of tag a little longer and then go to bed. And some nights, she just turns off the light in the bedroom. So I have to I don't want to turn on my flashlight because I don't want to hit her with a flashlight off of my phone. So I have this cool little app that just turns my entire screen white. And that generates enough light that I can see enough in there. But man, some nights I'll go in there and I'll get in bed and I'll roll over and there's something squishy and wet. And I'll be like, fake stuff. And she will have thrown up on my bed. And of course, since I can't see, the lights are too low and everything like that, I can't see it. And so I'm like, I have to get out of bed. I have to clean up the mess, and then I have to go, ugh. And of course, rolling over on it means that I have squished it into the mattress. It's so. Yeah. And I'm like, and that's when I look at my cat, and I'm like, why? Why do we have you? Why? It's a thing. Anyway, hello, Ghost Ham. Welcome to the show. And
hey, Ghost
if
Hand.
you're wondering what I'm doing, nobody will help me with my math, so I'm doing it my way. I'm going to do this my way. I will totally do this my way, and it will work. And I will be happy. So, okay. A little big. I will actually use this for other things in the future. So this is actually a tool I will use more often than just this one time. I actually have done this exact thing like 5 or 10 times. And so I'm going to save this once I'm done with this so that I don't have to do this again.
Well, that's a good idea.
Right? This is not, in fact, the first rodeo on this.
I think I literally just forgotten how to draw.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done that.
Because Pal is supposed to be like this, is supposed to be younger than the rest of them.
Hallelujah, it fits. Uh-huh.
So I'm like trying to do it where he's kind of like, that like fresh out of high school, kind of apathetic towards things still.
Things, yeah. I know that one. I only have to suffer for 1/4 of this. Then I'm just going to duplicate it rather than go through all of this over and over and over and over and over, which would be ridiculous. And maybe should be a little darker, like that. Sort of had a feeling that last one was probably not on the level because of the fact that it wasn't at the radials of 0, 90, 180, 270. It was halfway between. It was like, really? No.
I mean, there's worse things that can happen.
And it's totally worse things that can happen.
The plastic's being removed for the painting job.
The who's being removed? What? Oh, the plastic.
They're removing the plastic off of our windows. Hey, there's reasons why I don't do math. I know I could do math very well in high school.
Yeah.
However, I purposely asked my math teacher when they were saying that I was on the road to go into trigonometry. I was like, I don't want to go into trigonometry. Can you put me in this class so that I can just have regular geometry for my senior year?
Right.
And they were like,
and this is one of those where
smarter.
I kind of wish that I had gone into trigonometry, because I actually would have
benefited.
Yeah, I would have benefited at this point in time from that math, because I could have solved my mathematical problem instead of, I mean, I'm doing what I've done all of my life. I'm using my visual spatial skills to solve this problem that was a math problem that was way above my pay grade. And that's okay, but I still kind of wish I had just been able to just do the math, you know?
Yeah.
And this will be fine. The good news is that this will mean that I will intrinsically know where everything is.
Well, that's
because
good.
I will have literally placed everything manually. So that at least is a plus from this particular thing, as we will know.
So I'm more or less like trying to find out, like, how did the subject of you being part of the bear fetish come up? Like, when you were informed of this?
Oh, really? That was my computer deciding to disconnect. It was a buddy of mine who'd brought it up, and I was like, huh, I never thought of that, I guess.
Like, was it brought up like, oh, hey, you're part of someone's fetish? Or like,
Yeah,
like how did it come up naturally?
It was brought up. It was well,
like,
we were
that
talking
normally-
about we were talking about fetishes, and one of my favorite comments to make is when somebody goes, "I can't believe that that's a fetish." I like to bring up, there are people out there who have a fetish about old people's feet. And I'm like, so I am no longer surprised by any fetish. But then the person I was talking to at the time, he was like, well, yeah, but I mean, like, even you fit in a fetish. And I'm like, I do not. You know, right after saying, I am totally open to understanding all fetishes, you know, I promptly went, huh? You know, and that's what brought it up.
Yeah.
Because it was like, what? Your what hurts? You know, I couldn't really accept that. So it was just particularly funny in that instance, because it was like right after saying, yeah, no, I totally understand all fetishes or things. And, you know, I was like, then I promptly screwed it up because I'm, you know, me. And that doesn't surprise me at all. Should not surprise any viewer on my show either. That I'd promptly walk right into that and go, well, that was an issue. But that was imposter syndrome. That actually had nothing to do with the fetish itself. That was an imposter syndrome issue, which we know I suffer from a lot.
What do you mean? Like, what type of, where was the imposter syndrome?
Like, imposter syndrome says that you're not good enough, right? So that was simply...
No, where's the imposter syndrome with that, though? I mean, I want to know, like, where's the imposter syndrome going into a fetish? Like, that's kind of weird.
Oh, because I don't believe that anybody would have a fetish about me.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, I don't think anybody would have a fetish about me. Not anything other than that. I mean, it's just that is one of those, what? Why would anybody do that about me? You know, imposter syndrome. It's the same thing as, you know, everybody gets. You mean there are people who might be possibly attracted to me? That's not right. That can't possibly happen.
Oh, well.
Sort of thing.
You are
We all
married,
have
so at least one person
somebody
was attracted to you.
out there is attracted to me. Yeah. There is that. It's just that's what I'm trying to say is like that sort of setup.
Okay.
Oh, really? We're going to be a pain. Where's shift? I don't have shift. I have to do this the other way. One of the things I'm hoping I can do whenever I'm going to redesign my office soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping. Oh, that's right. We don't do this stuff. Okay. It's exceedingly infuriating that there's no from center function in Clip Studio Paint.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
So am I. You're like, but where did this random comment about bears come from? I was like, it's a thing. I don't know. I just work here.
Well, it is like a random thing. Like, I don't picture you going off and like, hey, let's look up some weird things.
Right?
Like, I don't picture you doing that. Like, that's something I do all the time.
Sure. That totally makes sense.
Yeah. I had a conversation with another comic book artist, and I was just like, and we were talking about search histories and how we both feel like we're probably going to be like on some weird watch list because of like the search histories or just the searches in general that you have to do as a comic book artist.
Right.
Like finding references for certain things, like you go down a rabbit hole a lot when it's like if you're trying to find something and you're like, oh, I need like blah 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 bear, right? Well, if you type it in and then all of a sudden it's like this sub thing of bear culture from the LGBTQ plus community, then you're like, oh dear God, I found it that way. Like,
right.
I'm thinking like maybe he found it that way. I don't know. Maybe I should just ask.
I always worry about things like that. Like, did I ever look up like naked kids or something once or something? Did they put me on a list? I can't imagine why I would have, but you never know. As a comic artist, you do all kinds of weird stuff. And you don't think about it because you're not thinking about it in that way. You're not.
Yeah, it's not like
not
what you're
sexual.
looking for is not sexual at all, but like
But somebody has turned it into a sexual thing somewhere, and now you have to deal with that, kind of crap. And it's like, it's like I worry about those things. I'm like, did I ever do that? Did I do that? Like,
yeah, it's just one of those things of like, and I'm trying to like get the words proper for it. I'm just like,
right. I just want to say it correctly or something. I know that one time a long time ago I was great.
I did look up I tried looking up like in the same sentence I put in for the search, I had child in feet, and you would not imagine what I got.
Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Sadly, I can kind of guess what you got.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I probably should complete those, the 10-degree lines. I didn't want to, but I think I will. Interesting. Maybe I'll just. Okay. Hey, Groot.
Your Groot?
It's a thing. I'm getting grumpy about the lines, so I was like, well, fine. It's one of my very favorite things from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies is when Groot became a teenager and started going, "Hey, Groot." He was all like snarky. And everybody's like, dude.
The best part about that is if you remember your teen years, you know exactly what he's saying.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it's so funny.
And if you have teenagers, like you know what they're saying too because you're experiencing it, right?
Yeah.
So like it's one of those things of like it's a really funny concept, like a teenage Groot.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, like he's even acting like a teenager in it. You know, when they got Thor a new weapon, and everyone's like, "How are we supposed to put it together?" Blah 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 blah, and Groot's just like, ugh, does like the normal teenage thing, and like goes over, grabs both halves, sandwiches them together, and then cuts his own arm off, and it's like, "There, you happy? It's done."
Yep.
Can we go now?
I don't know what he's after, but he's after something. So he's going to sit here for a minute until his little cat brain forgets what he was doing, which is the way I handle it because he's after one of my brushes. I know that. He keeps getting into the bag of auxiliary brushes. And then he will pull out because these are all cheap brushes. I bought them all at Michael's for like $1.50 for 12 brushes or something. So they're for, putting glue on something, or you know what I mean, like stuff that'll ruin a brush. But if they get sacrificed to the George God here, and he decides to eat the brushes, this does not help me any. You get that, right? It doesn't help me any if you're doing that, you little pest. Okay, have you forgotten what you were doing? You forgotten it yet? He's like, maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Maybe I'm still in my cat brain thinking there's a brush back there somewhere. I can just eat it.
Or in his cat brain, I like this. I don't want to leave.
Right. He does actually seem to be somewhat happy all of a sudden now.
It's because you're paying attention to him.
Yep. There we go, cat brain.
Yeah.
Go do your thing. Go do whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
You do you, boo. Okay. Back to work, slave. Yeah, I know. I'll scritch you again, you little goofball. Hey, Groot.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, I just would like to point out that I hate finances.
Yep. You're not alone.
especially when it comes to having to involve family members.
Also not alone there. I mean, I wish you were alone on that, but you're not.
Is it stuff dealing with what's happened recently in your family, or?
Obviously, when there's a death in the family, that always makes things complicated.
Yeah.
However, actually, the family's doing pretty good on, not fighting over things. My sister and I have never been the kind to get into fights over that kind of stuff. That's just not our style.
Yeah.
That's
why I was like, kind of like, yeah, I don't picture you being like, you don't seem like the people that would.
Yeah.
So.
We aren't. We've done good.
No. I might as well tell everyone that in the what's going on, I guess. Basically, we are trying to deal with like loan stuff right now. And
Sorry.
Bill basically got something. Now we need a paper trail for it. And things were done so that it could keep everyone private about certain things. And now we have to make it not private.
Yep.
It's not the best situation.
Right?
So.
You just want scritches? What's your deal, George? This is more attention than you've ever given me.
He's hoping for you to be lulled into a false sense of security to release him onto the paintbrushes.
Yeah, that's what he wants, those paintbrushes. I know because they're in this little cart to the left of my computer. That's where all those brushes are. And I think he's been sitting over here to the left of me going, no, really, I want scritches. And I can just sense him looking into the cart to see if the brushes are there.
Yeah.
I am going to be aggravated if this is true. 1, 2, I'm going to check my counts here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 10. No more.
Well, crap. We got to go back to the beginning again. After all that work. Fine. Because it looks like this is divided into 52 divisions radially.
Well, that's not a good thing because that means that you put in 365.
No, it's the radial divisions. The lines going out, they need to be 50. And I think really they need to be 48 because it's counting the outer ring and the center dot as a division.
Gotcha.
So it needs to be 48 slices, not including the center dot and the outer ring. So, okay,
gotcha.
Here we go. One more time. Once more into the breach. This time, though, I'm going to do this in Illustrator instead of doing this out because I can actually change the color of all these radial lines. So rather than manually paint them all, which is ridiculous, and I don't know why in the world I'm doing it, except that I'm sadistic and hate myself, and that's the only thing I can think of. I'm going to do it over here in Illustrator, which will make more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing we got to do is delete that one and start over again. Work. All right. So let's
Why
do
can't it be
40.
the good old days where people don't ask questions where cash comes from?
Because then you're okay. So really, I'm like, I'll start it from the center, and it's like, no, you can't do that. No, and that's another one of those things that. So we refinanced our house, and we're running into the exact same problem. I'm a graphic designer. I'm a freelance artist. All of my money comes from random spots. There's like none of it's from here. And it's aggravating because it's like, stop asking me these questions. I can't tell you where I got that from. And then they're like, why? Why are you hiding it? I'm not hiding it. Just okay, how do I select one of these lines?
You have to be the white arrow.
I got the white arrow.
Okay.
At the anchor. There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let's make the background. Because I can't see anything. I'm going to make the background black. Okay, now what trouble are you causing, cat? And naturally, it did not, in fact, do the instruction that I just gave it. That's I should be not surprised. Okay, Pepper, it's stuck on stroke again. How do I get it to fill? Because now it's stuck on. See how it's got the square and it's stuck.
If you have a line, are you dealing with a rectangle or a line?
Rectangle. I just need a black rectangle in the background.
Black rectangle in the background. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't see my grid.
So if you go to where the colors are, you'll see it looks like a square with around it, like a square that has no color. Just there's a thing in the corner right around that where you can basically flip it. It looks like a 2 arrow. Keep going up.
Here?
Okay, so yeah. So yeah, but if you want it black, there's an arrow. There's like a thing that has 2 different arrows on it.
Got it. I figured it out. Gotcha. I see you now.
Yeah. No, but you want to switch it so that you can actually flip it so that it's black.
Right. Like that.
Okay, or you can do that.
Or I can do that. It worked. It worked. I got it. I got it under control. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is, complicated and difficult. What in the world? Okay. Really?
Yep.
Okay. Once more into the breach. This time it's 49 because I don't even know what it's counting. But apparently, whatever it is it's counting, it's. So it's 49 units. I guess it doesn't count the outside edge or whatever. I don't know. I just work here.
I just drew that character's head way too big. No. I can fix it.
At one point. Okay. Why is it so difficult here?
Because it doesn't like you.
Yes. All right. I can't hit this inner ring because I can't see it. Nice to know that you're very useful on this. Zooming in. Fine. I just have to keep poking at it until I find it. So much that's what she said.
I was actually just going to say, hey, that sounds like a line that a virgin would say on prom night.
Yep. Okay. That's it. I'm done arguing with that. All right. One, two. Perfect. Okay, finally. That took an insanely stupid amount of time. Really dumb. Thank you. Okay, I think all the math is finally right.
Cool.
I hate, everything about this, but hey, it's working. That's all that's important at this point. Why did it make these thick path things right here? Do you know?
Huh?
Right here, see how these 4 path lines are thicker? They have like looks like a line.
Yeah. That's
Something.
weird.
Yeah.
Normally it does, if you change one line and they're all connected, they change them all.
That's what I thought too. But it's doing some kind of line width thing. I don't know. I mean, it's okay. It can do that. It's not going to change anything on my idea here, but that's all right. Oops.
I feel like putting a playground in the cemetery that I'm drawing, because the cemetery would have had a playground back in the day.
I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm drawing a cemetery that's basically from like the time, like there would have been a time where, because there's a church near it, they would have had a playground like on the same grounds as the cemetery, because people
Okay.
used to picnic among their dead relatives
Yes.
in New England, which is where this is taking place.
Yes. And actually, it's interesting. My great grandmother and I had that discussion once.
Yeah.
She wanted me to have a picnic on her grave at some point.
Do you remember where she's buried?
Yep.
Cool.
She's actually in the family plot, so I'd be having a picnic with my grandmother, my great grandmother, my great grandfather, my grandfather, and now my dad's memorial. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is good because that actually is sort of that all matches. You know, Dad wanted to be just cremated, so it's a thing. All right, we got that.
So are you guys like the remains then, or?
No. Actually, we put them in these little cosmetic container things, these sealed containers, and gave them to everybody. And his request was to have his ashes spread all over the place. So actually, Amanda, the head of NDK, was just in New Orleans. And so she took one of them to the Mississippi and put it into the Mississippi. My dad worked in 1970 and 71, and those 2 years, he worked in New Orleans at Harvey with an oil company doing engineering work. And that was and so he actually liked his time in New Orleans. And so I asked her because she was going that way, and she said, sure. And she was more than happy to do that. Hello, Brent. It's actually okay because, like, totally all we've been doing here is suffering badly. So anyway, so she did that. That was cool. And so now I know that at least one of those packs has now gone into the Mississippi, which is cool.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
So that's all right. We've got that going.
Brent, I am sorry that I could not give you the alcohol because you don't live in Colorado.
Yeah, so you're purging alcohol so that you don't have it there whenever they. Where are you just purging because you're moving?
We're moving, yeah. So it's safe to say, everyone, yes, we are moving. We're waiting to find out when. But also at the same time, like some of the bottles of liquor that we have been from when we got married,
right,
in 2014.
And it's like at some point you're like, just don't use these.
Yeah.
I don't have a use for them.
Like, I mean, the only thing I was using the vodka that we have for was making extracts. That's all I was using it for. Like, I wasn't even using it for drinking.
Right.
So.
That's cool. Okay. I think we finally have the perfect grid ready to go. So now, once more into the breach. The numbers are correct. Look at this. And we'll see.
I need to go get something to drink real quick. I'll be back.
I think I didn't do the background transparent. Let's see if it loads properly. So how you doing, Brent? Yes, you did it well. Let me go back into layers, and you need to delete it. Do you want to delete this layer? There's artwork on it. What are you doing, you madman? Excellent work. And one more time. Do you want to replace it?
So they removed our. They removed the plastic on the windows. They just didn't remove the plastic on the sliding door because they're not done in that area yet.
All right. Let's see if they did it. If it did it right this time.
Yeah.
That looks much better. Looks like we might have actually gotten what we're looking for here. All righty. Look at that. Now I don't have to do any of the maddening things I was doing earlier because everything looks like it worked. Okay, good. Copy. Right here. Paste. You can be killed. And so can you. Because this is now the correct grid. There we go. All right. Yeah. All right. Put that there. And the 90-degree lines on where they're supposed to be, and it only took us like 47 zillion years to get this straight, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Line that up to the middle of that line. And then put the red lines on the barrier.
I hate it when I make a mess up in the pencils.
Why am I discovering errors and screw-ups later? What's the story here? Why am I not discovering these screw-ups
In Illustrator?
in Illustrator?
Because unlike all other programs, apparently Illustrator doesn't have like the screw-up proof thing.
Right?
That's why I stopped using it for a little bit because essentially what happened was Illustrator, back in the day, so that you have Adobe InDesign and you have Adobe Illustrator. InDesign was supposed to was produced by Adobe because Adobe's main competitor at the time for layout provisions was a Quark Express.
Yeah.
Basically, you could do a whole entire layout in Quark Express, and you could actually do everything you could in Illustrator in Quark Express as well.
Right.
So Adobe came out with InDesign. InDesign, though, that's where they developed their error messaging system, but they never really gave Adobe Illustrator an error messaging system. They just didn't. It sucks.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Stop pushing buttons. It's like we can't get math whether we want to or not. I don't get it. We will not do mathing. There will be no mathing. Because now...
That's because we have confused the world of math with everyone. Generation after generation, we keep making math different.
Right.
Do you know that I thought about it, and the rules of math when I was a kid, like if you were trying to do math, the rules, like the operations method, when I first was learning math, was not taught to me. So I was taught to do everything linear. Like a 2 plus 3 times 6 divided by 2 minus 1 times 7 equals, and you had to do everything in order, right?
Right.
And then in junior high, I was told, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Okay. I swear I'm just going to spend my entire time doing this crap. Fighting with weirdness after weirdness after weirdness. Okay, see. Okay, so the error that we discovered here was that I didn't put, or I found out that the left line that's at 90 degrees was actually at 89 degrees. So I need to move it over one line. Well, that's fine. Except that I counted in tens all the way around this circle. And everything lined up.
Yeah.
So what's screwed up? Right?
Illustrator.
Right? Because that means that there's 361 degrees in this circle. Except that, so I said, oh, okay, well, obviously it counts 360 and 0 as two different lines, which gives you 0 as 1 and 360 as 1, which gave 361. So I just made a new one at 359, and the 0 degrees line does not line up with the box. So the pull handle for the centroid of the box is off the line. The line is off by a little bit. So that's not the answer, because 0 and 90 and 270, they all need to be lined up properly. But clearly that's not the answer. I don't get it. I don't understand why this has to be so hard.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's just do it, guys. Let's just go and we'll do the world market run. We'll just and then we'll just start back fresh. How's that sound?
Right? Totally. Yeah, it's a great idea. A stroke in here. We have a stroke. More appropriate words have never been said. Okay.
Guy, don't have a stroke. It's all right.
Right. It's all right. You don't have a stroke.
Doing hospital?
Right? It does make you wonder. No, but I have learned a couple of tricks now with Illustrator. And that I'm going to now implement. I'm glad you started painting again last night, Brent.
What'd you paint?
Minis.
I was hoping that he was going to say some type of awesome statue. Which
awesome
miniatures.
All right. This time, I should be able to tag the paths from in here.
Sorry, folks, my hand is starting to hurt.
It's all right. We're getting there. Much better.
So, by the way, I did put a swing set in the background of that one
Just
panel.
because you had to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna I'm sorry. If you're gonna draw anything from New England, you have to encompass like all the creepy stuff that they did back in the day. I'm sorry.
Right? All makes sense, bro.
I mean,
You're gonna have to wait, Adam. About 15 minutes, man. It's the solar guys.
solar?
You ever putting solar panels in the house?
Oh. What company?
Fluent?
Okay.
And we've had a lot of hiccups, but we're getting there. So it's...
No, I get it. We talked to some people about doing solar panels because we're looking at houses that have like no HOAs, so we don't have to worry about people going, you can't do that. So yeah.
Yeah, he texted me. Say, I'm going to call you later. All right.
I like on how I private messaged him and everyone's putting their phone numbers in the group chat. I'm like, okay.
Yep. Okay, so I've got the same problem I had before. There are 9 radians between. There are 9 radians from 0 degrees. It's not. Okay, what am I doing wrong? What's the story here? Because I'm having a real problem here trying to make just 360 degrees. That's all I need. And if I do 360, I get 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9. It's like, okay. So maybe I need to do 358 radians? I don't know. No, that's not it. I can already tell because only 0 and 180 degrees are actually on the box lines. So that must not be it. Is it 361? Is it 362? Or is this just that we are so imprecise that we cannot possibly do an actual 360-degree circle? Must be 362. A remarkably frustrating thing to do here. That's not on the lines either. Okay, time to go ask Google. This is really complicated. Like, in order to do this properly, you have to make a line and then duplicate it 360 times by using the free rotate around a circle tool. And I mean, it's like, why can't you just make a grid the way it's supposed to be? Why does this have to be difficult? This is so weird. Like, it shouldn't be this hard.
I will be right back.
Okay, we have about 10 minutes in the show.
Oh, well, if it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, you might as well hang out for 10 more minutes.
Yeah, might as well.
10 minutes left.
Yeah.
We're all going to get tickets to the game. That's kind of cool. I haven't been to a Rockies game since my mom was alive.
Well, I haven't really done a baseball game in a while myself. So
my mom was a major Rockies fan. She actually worked for the Rockies in the guest relations department. And
cool.
She was, maybe the galaxy is an oval or oval shaped ish. Was it 9 on the other side?
I'm just going to fix that by covering it with black. There we go. Easy peasy.
Right?
Covering things up, not oil paint.
Well, no, I'm not an oil painter build, but I have to cover it somehow.
Okay, I'm not sure how to handle this. It's missing
What's going on now?
1 radian. It's like missing 1. Weird.
Are you doing the auto-populate tool in there?
No, I'm using the auto grid, right? So the grid tool, it makes a grid. You can make a polar grid, or you can make a regular grid, or
take the white selection tool and see if the line's there.
I mean, if the line is underneath the other line.
See if the line is actually there and they just didn't put an actual stroke on it.
It will. No, actually, you can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
Okay.
to the right.
So is there one that has a larger gap?
Maybe. I don't see a gap here. I mean, just looking at this. And they all look like they're gapped correctly, except for this one, which has got 9 lines to it. But like, that's the thing, is like the other side has 10 to each.
I'm trying to help you deduct, but
yeah, I don't know what's going on here. And Brent's like, maybe the galaxy is an oval. I'm like, maybe I don't really care enough. I mean, and that's entirely
maybe the galaxy is an oval and you're overthinking it.
Right?
I mean,
the only problem is 1 degree is enough to be quite significant in space. 1 degree could be enough to have stars clumped together. So I don't want to be a degree off. But when I tried to make one that was 361 to add that in, these two, the 0 and 180 lined up, but the 90 and the 270 were like this. They were cattywampus. They were off, which makes me wonder, what am I missing? Am I counting wrong? I don't know.
And are you missing one with 360?
Yeah, that's the problem. This is 360. When I type in 360, I get 9 in here on
Can
this
you
side.
do 360.5?
Yeah. Let's find out, shall we?
All right. I can't. I have to go to the bathroom. I can't hold it.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Figure this out one way or the other. I don't know how this is working though. What am I missing here? Can I do 360.5? $361. The answer is no. You're not allowed to do 360.5. Okay, I stand corrected. Or I sit corrected. Looks like they do line up at 361. Okay, fine, whatever. We just, yes. You need to be white, please. And now we'll do our count. It does look like there's 2 here, doesn't there? It could be 50. See you later, Brent. Us and our oval universe will still be ovaloid whenever we get to it. All right.
All right. Sorry about that, guy.
No problem.
So,
The other way. Now we have another problem. We've thrown a Molotov cocktail. Now we have another problem. Now we have 11 on the left side.
When you do a 0.5?
I did 0.5 and it won't let me.
Oh.
So, because you can't do half of a radian divider.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to figure out how did it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how did it figure that out. So that's all right. That's all right. We'll just keep working on this. Somewhere this will work.
Gotcha. Well, alrighty. But I believe we are coming to the end of the show.
Yeah, we are. You can see the problem right here. Here is the midline. And here is the 90-degree line.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, is that that's not lined up. So I'm like, why can't I get the right number? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. This is very weird. If I have the right number of radial lines, it's not square.
Right.
If I have the wrong number of radial lines, it is square. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't be working that way. That's not the way it should work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my ongoing trials and tribulations on how to get this to work continue. The thing is, actually, now that I think about it, though, it's only missing one radial line from 0 degrees to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Everything else seems to have the correct number of lines. So maybe what I should do is just chop out that top left quadrant and then duplicate the other quadrants below it.
Maybe. That would definitely be a circumvent.
Yeah, I mean, because then it'll be correct on all the other quadrants. If it's correct on all the other quadrants, then I don't think there should be a problem. It's just weird. It's really weird. It shouldn't be doing this, but it's doing it. Anyway, okay, guys. We'll finish this, and tomorrow maybe we'll actually be doing real cartography. Which is what I've been trying to get to this entire time, is finishing up my cartography. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Pepper. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining me, Brent. Ghost Hand. Good to have you both here on the show.
Nice seeing everyone.
We'll see you all tomorrow, and same bat time, same bat channel. And until then, keep your eyes on the stars that I can't draw, but I will, and it will be there. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Computer, good night.